Hey writers, we have almost come to the end of our personal narrative writing unit. What that means is that we need to take a moment and look through all of the writing that we've done. You're going to choose your very favorite piece. Maybe the one that you're the most proud of, or the one that you think others will find the most interesting. You're going to pull that piece out. Now, it might be the one you're working on right now and you're not quite finished. We don't have a lot of time left, so you're going to want to really get cracking. You might need to add some extra time to your writing minutes so that you have time to finish that one, okay? What you're going to do when you choose your very favorite piece from this unit, and this is a little tricky because our class isn't really set up like this year. Usually I partner my kids up. I have a peanut butter partner and a jelly partner, and you're writing partners, and you read your writings to each other and you tell each other what you're going to write about each day. Well, we just can't do that this year. We've got friends at home, we've got authors at school, but we can't get right next to each other and sit elbow, elbow, knee, knee. So I'm going to ask you, if you're at your house, to maybe choose a sibling or a grown-up at your house that can be your editor. Now, you have to explain what an editor is to them, because we don't want them to get confused and think they're supposed to go through with a red pen, because we don't want that. You're going to read your story to the editor, and you're going to ask your editor, did that make sense? Because sometimes when we write things down, we're in such a hurry that we don't get all our thoughts on the paper, and it might not make sense. If it doesn't make sense to them, they'll ask you questions. They'll say, what did you mean? Or did you leave something out? Or what happened here? They'll ask you some questions that will give you ideas for things you might need to add, okay? And that's the other thing you're gonna ask. You're asking, did that make sense? And you're asking, should I add anything? Because sometimes you think you're done with a story because you remember in your head everything that happened, but when you're reading it to somebody who's never heard the story before, they might ask you a question and you think, oh, I should put that in. For example, if you are writing about a time that you went to the grocery store and your mom told you to go pick the milk up off the counter while she picked up the cheese, the shelf, out of the freezer. This is a silly story, I'm just making this up. But let's say you got there and you saw there was some yogurt and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get that. And you took the yogurt to the cart. Well, I might ask you, did you forget the milk or did you get both? Sometimes we just have questions because it's not clear in the writing, okay? So read your story to an editor. If you're at school, your teacher's gonna explain who you can read it to and how you'll go about doing that from a safe distance. If you're at home, you're gonna find a grown-up or a big brother or sister you can read it to. So you can read to an editor, you're gonna say, did that make sense? And then you're gonna say, should I add anything else? Okay, then what you're gonna do, because this is your published piece, it's the one you are the most proud of, you're gonna go through and you are gonna see if you could add anything to make the pictures better. Do you need to add anything to make the writing more clear? Make it look beautiful, okay? You're gonna add it to Seesaw. You're gonna take a picture of each page and you're gonna give it its own page on Seesaw, okay? You're gonna take, the first picture goes on the first page, the next picture goes on the next page, and so on. I don't want you to put 6 pictures on one page. They're so tiny. Mrs. Bryant's eyes do not work that good, okay? I've got old eyes. Your teacher really needs you to make sure each page make it big enough, put it on its own page. Okay, boys and girls? I cannot wait to see your finished pieces. These are the published writings that you are the most proud of, okay? We're gonna save these up over the course of the year, and by the time you're finished with first grade, you are going to be, you're not even gonna believe what a great author you are, because your writing is gonna get better and better, but also you're gonna look back and think, oh yeah, I remember. That was when I really knew I was an author. Okay, writers, you get to work.